There is an Omega Alliance scientific breakthrough.
And there we go. We got ourselves access to the Tetronium refineries. So we'll be able to get, more food production from these places now. We'll go back to basically going here, I guess, in a little bit to get our construction going, because I won't initially get ourselves anything from level 1 for or level 2 for the biotech right from that. So I'll basically focus on construction for more industrial stuff. Although in this game, by the way, I find industry very important. So I very much like factions like the Karen Empire or the Carter Invaders, because they basically have more powerful industries. But this is not a bad faction either, the Omega V, because they basically have access to better resource production, so they'll be able to make use of their industry a lot better than those factions. Anyhow, let's see here. I'm going to need a few more turns before this is getting our pip for a population in there. I could get to this right away, by the way, but we're just going to focus on getting this out of the way for now. So, 1, 2. By the way, here's head of Hydrus, and you see that Y plant there. There's a demon plant. So, Class Y is reserved for strange plants referred to as the demon world, where service conditions are not do not fall into any recognized category. Such worlds are usually hostile and lethal to humanoid life. So essentially down here basically got ourselves a hostile world that we can't inhabit. That's what this is all about here. There's also an adaptable world over here, rocky and barren with little, if any, surface water. Their atmospheres are thin and comprise mostly carbon dioxide. Life forms, if any, are limited to single-celled organisms and algae. They're adaptable because through terraforming, they're suitable for human colonization. So I guess that's what Mars is, essentially. It's an adaptable world. Alright, so let's have you get down here.
Affirmative.
I have to say, I'm not liking the star systems around me too much. I basically only have one here that popped up that basically had 50 billion population in it. And this one doesn't have any starship fuel in it, which is not great. And this minor system over here, it's got a hostile race to it that basically doesn't have any star fuel in it either. Now, note by the way that this is starship fuel right here. This is basically the starship fuel is what we basically need to build starships. But because it's such a small star system, it's kind of useless to me there. So I basically have to hope one of these other systems here basically has a little bit more starship fuel to them. So I can actually build starships in the future in those systems. Alright, over here let's build ourselves a Tetronium refinery. And note by the way, basically have all our guys here are basically producing 9 for food. So basically I've got upgrade this so I don't have issues later on for food problems. I'll note by the way that a lot of the factions in this game, they'll have their ups and downs and what they're very, very good at and very bad at. The V are very bad at food production, I believe. So I have to be very careful with my food, because if I don't have enough food generating structures, I'll basically run out, and that's not good. And let's just see here. I might be able to get that up to 1, but let's just leave it at 2 here for now. We'll build it in 2 turns. We'll do that with our titanium for now. After I get that built, I'll probably build a rock hiring breeding complex. I'll show you what those are all about after I build it, so we'll ignore it for now. And again, before I check the other ones, I just want to go here quickly. Still slowly building this up over here, so that'll be done, hopefully soon. So I got access to 5 industrial centers over here now, by the way. I probably want to make use of one extra pip of industry for these basic titanium mines, so basically get those out of the way. Gotta watch out for food again over here, but whatever, it'll basically be what it is. And Mega Alpha is basically done their building. Again, I'm happy I got myself another 50 billion plus star system here, by the way, but it doesn't have access to this. I'll note, by the way, that you basically need to have, a lot of, these, types of, resources to basically, make good proper ships and stuff. Like, I can actually build ships here in, my home sector because it basically has access to, this resource. And eventually I'll be able to build, very good ships with, these, deposits of, other resources in here. Technically over here, once I get, this iridium out, I can use this stuff to build ships as well. I'll note, if I go to research, by the way, you can, go to ship design. And basically down here at hull type, you can basically see, type of materials you can use. So there's titanium, duralumin, and iridium. Iridium is basically the hardest, hull armor you can basically use, I guess. And then you got, titanium, which is basically, the weakest, and duralumin, which is basically, mid-tier. Anyhow, let's have this guy going on here. And let's see here. Let's build up a Rockani breeding complex. I'll note, by the way, that this is basically it's essentially where the Omega Alliance genetically engineers their troops. So this is where we're going to breed our troops into being, I guess we'll say. And I'm thinking, by the way, that I still don't have enough food production for Omega Alpha, so I may have to build more refineries in the future. But for now, I'll basically leave it as is for now, and I'll just worry about that as it comes, I guess. Alright, so we basically built that over here. Now, building up a barracks basically means I get access to troops so I can basically build here. At the start of the game, the troops you can basically build for the V are not very powerful. They basically have very weak attack strength, very weak defense strength. They have a fairly decent maintenance cost, but that's about the only good thing about them. Now, I probably want to hold off basically on building the troops for this. I'll know by the way better troops we basically get for these guys. So if I go to objects and I go to troops, that's the basic stuff I have right there at the start. And as you can see, I basically have access to it immediately. These guys are what come next. So, well-trained units of the Omega Alliance, armed with automatic weapons and blasting charge. The V are also use Denari troopers to suppress unrest in their own cities. Now, as you can see, these guys basically have an increased attack and defense strength, so they're a little bit more powerful. They also have a morale value, and the morale value is basically used to basically suppress distance. So if you have bad morale in one of your systems, this will basically let you raise it up a little bit. Eventually, as it goes along, I'll be able to get access to mechanical combat units, and they'll basically be progressively stronger and stronger as we go along, until we get to the special units basically. I'll probably want to basically get these guys, sooner or later for combat stuff. So we may actually hold off on invading these guys because they're going to be an issue to invade. I'll note that basically in this game, when you're basically invading a system, you have to watch out for the characteristics of the race itself. So in this case, we basically have a warlike and hostile race. These guys are going to be very, very hard to invade because their warlike and hostile properties actually make your populations more powerful. On top of that, they're going to have a population of 47 billion, so I need to have a lot of forces to go through those 47 billion in population before I can take it over. So it'll be very hard to invade Kimura for me, is what I'm basically saying here. This will be opposed to other factions in the game that'll be a lot weaker, by the way, including the major empires. More trade if I had the option, but we don't have anyone to trade with, so we're not going to worry about that. I want to note that this game is very finicky in how it basically starts you sometimes. I'm basically having a very poor start here because basically I've got a hostile miner that I basically can't do anything with for a good while that I can't conquer. And I also have no other miners around besides this guy. And all the planets around me are very, they're basically trash. I don't have any planets that basically good for construction ships besides my home sector here. And a lot of the sectors that are outside are not even over 50 billion, which are what you basically need to, really get, good, production and stuff going on, for the most part. Which is not great. And, I actually forgot to, build anything from here. I should probably actually go here, and we're actually going to, build something else from here. And I'm actually going to build myself a couple more colony ships, to colonize the world. So let's just get down the way. I'm going to say that's a little bit too slow, by the way, just so... I like to basically build ships pretty fast in this game, so if it's 6 turns to complete, I'd rather just buy them, I think, so we're just going to do that instead. And I'll basically get a bunch of colony ships going out to do some stuff. I'm only able to colonize these systems here at the moment, but that's fine for now. So I'll basically send them out here to colonize these terraform and colonize these planets, here to basically terraform and colonize these planets, and here to terraform that planet and get all underway basically.
There is an Omega Alliance scientific breakthrough.
Okay, there's our new industrial centers there. That'll be useful. Also, want to sell the colony ship made. That'll be useful as well. Now, I could basically keep researching construction, but as you can see, it's going to yield nothing to me right away. So, I probably want to go back to something else. And I'm thinking, I may want to get energy tech up to level 1, I think, before doing anything else. So let's do that. And I'll get that out of the way. You'll see what special research assignments are all about later on, but I won't get those until I get everything up here at level 1, so that'll be a little bit off for now. We're going to buy ourselves this other colony ship, and then I need to have more titanium before I can basically get this out of the way, so that'll be held off for a little bit over here. That's fine. In the meantime, we'll basically be building up, durium mines, which is basically a hard artificially generated metal used for the hull of spacecrafts. This is basically you're something I'll actually use for building spaceships that are going to be used for combat stuff. Right now we've been using titanium, which is basically a naturally occurring metal element, but it's basically used for as a hard and strength metal for industry stuff. So I rather using this for industry, not for shipbuilding and such. This on the way right now. I'm using I'm using titanium basically to build this stuff right now because that's what I have my ship properly set to. But later I rather be building this stuff with duranium basically. Okay, cool. We'll be able to build these very, very fast, so that's a good thing about these durium mines. That's fine. We'll get those basically all built. Anyways, here's my new vessel here. I'm going to send this guy over here to basically finish up the terraforming, so maybe I'll get that done, or actually, you know what? Let's send this guy down here instead. If I send him down here to Tribolia and basically get this stuff done, I'll be able to basically make this an even better system for these guys to do stuff with. So I'd rather get that done first. And you just go right there for now.
An alien culture has been encountered.
Ah! Alright, so here's another very underdeveloped species. This is the Baya. These guys are pacifists and are isolationists. So I'll note that pacifists are basically very easy to pacify, so these guys will be a little bit easier to conquer. But being an isolationist, this guy's going to be also a little bit hard to conquer in the average race as well. So Baya are a medieval race which is extremely shy towards strangers. However, once persuaded in long time consuming negotiations, a Bakan can quickly learn to work with new tools and weapons, and can offer themselves for the service of peacekeeping with their allies. They are firmly convinced that they have to use all means necessary in order to ensure peace, even die for it. They detest wars in general, yet know how to prevent them in their own special way, and through their understanding of pacifism. Abe loves the imposing presentation of glowing armaments. They are determined to die for a native country if it is necessary. Their willingness to staff the most dangerous posts within their army voluntarily appeals to reinforce the population of their allies. However, they are no more effective than normal troops in battle, which is largely because of their primitive origin. And by the way, basically got this upgrade down here. Basically gives you a nice Empire-wide morale. This is a little bit different than the other guy because Empire-wide morale basically affects all your systems. So very, very powerful. And basically you can see here these guys are legendary stormtroopers that everyone likes to see, dying for them instead of dying themselves. Now this guy is a little bit more likable to me, so he's neutral to me, which is very, very good. It may be possible a nice little trade relation with this guy, so let's see if we can do that. We're gonna say you want to have a trade with us? So the Omega Alliance sends you welcome greetings. As the responsible Duenna, I am entitled to offer a trading agreement to your world. I am sure that this, solely economic, relationship marks just the beginning of a deeper friendship. Consider this gift of 750 credits, a small incentive. Duration of this trade will be unlimited. So basically, I'm trying to buy this guy a trade treaty. So basically, we can get to be friends a little bit quicker. Note that this goes down my credits, so that's basically what I want to save the credits for, basically for stuff like that. And if I can get these guys on my side, I'll basically get access to their system really quick, so that'll be nice. Let's send this guy over here.
Affirmative.
And before I do anything else, I really actually want to get another chat out of the way, so let's just do that. It's going to take me a little bit to get that built, but it's fine. I'm used to research this other stuff, right? So that's fine. Alright, so basically we've offered ourselves the Bay Area trade agreement. Now, he'll have to basically, send a reply to me. That'll be, next turn. So, basically, I know in this game, diplomacy is not instant, so I have to basically, send, something to him, and then I have to send something back. This is actually a very multiplayer-oriented game, so you actually have, multiple people playing this type of game, and the setup basically allows you to, have it, you send something, and then, they send something back to, next turn. Anyhow, let's get this guy to do his colonization over here.
Designate a planet for terraforming.
And we'll start the planet that basically colonize the fastest, I think, so this one.
Designate a planet for terraforming.
These planets are all pretty slow to terraform, which is not great, but whatever. Let's start with this one right here, get that out of the way. And this guy here, I think I'm going to send him up to here for now. When I get the chance, I'll have to go over here to Tribula and let's build a space dock. And a space dock will basically let me, refuel my ships a little closer to home. So that'll be important to have around. So let's see if I can get this out underway. So yeah, I'll be a little slow, I think. So let's not worry about that right away. I'm gonna get this guy to start building an industrial center right away as well, just so I can build stuff a little bit faster here. So we'll do that. Yeah, we'll go like this for now. And we're just going to buy the space dock. Space docks are usually 200 credits each, so we'll buy that. And that'll at least let me, explore a little farther out from, this sector here. I should send this guy over here for now, I guess.
There is an Omega Alliance scientific breakthrough.
Alright, so I basically got access to a bunch of new technologies here, including this one here. This is basically a very interesting processing plant. So this plant distills Tetron 4C to a higher concentration and frees it from impure substances. Thus hosts get more powerful and their loyalty increases due to their Tetron addiction. A chemical waste product remains from this way of distillation is sold to other breeds as an anesthetic. So that's something very interesting. Basically, you're I'll note that the V are basically all about drugs, basically, much like the Dominion was. So you're basically drugging your your guys, and anything you basically have is waste product. You basically sell to other breeds for an anesthetic, basically.
We have news from the diplomat.
Ah, that sucks. So these guys basically declined their the agreement from these guys. So our government has no interest in such an agreement. It would wrong us. So we can get ourselves basically like, a trade agreement with these guys away. That's fine though, because I basically got like a space dock here, and these guys are now like, much closer to me to get, which is very, very good. And I'm basically going to be sending down a colony ship, I think, to colonize his like world, so you'll see what that's all about in a bit. Let's just go like this, I think, for now. Once I get this built, I'm going to basically send this ship down. So I'm going to have to start building up, other, like, places for my guys to basically work over here. I'll note, by the way, that eventually what's going to happen here, my labor is going to exceed, like, what's available to work here. So we'll basically have, like, free labor units doing nothing at some point here, because our population will basically grow past, like, what's basically available to work right now. That's fine. Alright, so, because this guy basically is, like, expanded space stock, I'm able to explore all these new worlds over here. And I think what I want to do, we'll get this guy going over here, and it'll, like, do a nice little loop over here, I think. But yeah, space dock completed. Now, I could, by the way, keep, like, a restriction over here to get solar panels, but I think at this point, we'll go over here to get our, like, biotics up to, like, a couple more levels just to get more food. But, like, later on. Though I have to say, I might actually be able to get away with, like, just having a Type 1 Tetrarch refinery in my Omega Alpha system for a while, so maybe I won't worry about that just yet. Let's go for, like, this other stuff for now, I guess. We'll get this all up to level 1, and you can see, like, a special research sign pop up. Because that'll be fun.
An alien culture has been encountered.
Whoop, I just found another guy. So, here are the Ferrandomus. These guys are productive, and they're advanced, species that can actually build, like, chips. So, Ferrandomus are unbelievably tough and strong beings whose bones consist of nearly unbreakable molecular grids. There are indeed no Ferrandomus who love aesthetic literature and take there are indeed no Ferrandomus who love aesthetic literature or take courses in public speaking, but their engineering and construction art is an attraction worth seeing. Due to high gravity levels on their planet, the Ferrandomus have to build their shelters into the ground, chiefly in hills and banks of earth, which would have been impractical on the teeny carpets of their planet with conventional methods. By complex automorphic forms in the grounds, however, which easily morph into a temporary ball-like cavity by likewise receptors on their outer skin of the Ferrandomus, literally overnight, unlimited shelter is available to them anywhere and at any time. Also, small settlements have developed that way in some regions on the planet where density and deformability of the ground was higher. Studying this automorphic features of the landscape, as well as the Ferrandomus themselves, should result in a highly appreciated engineering progress. So, basically, if I, like, study these guys, we'll learn, like, a nice little bonus to our construction tech research, which is very, very nice. They also have access to the Ferrandomus assembly over here, which basically gives a nice little morale boost to these guys, so do a high morale. They also have access to, as you can see, like, a fighter, which is basically, like, following the rare maverick nature of the Ferrandomus, the Morpho class is a single-seater with excellent maneuverability and anti-detection equipment. It is therefore capable of efficiently hunting down any small enemy aircraft. So basically, it's like used to, like, hunt down, like, smaller spacecraft. And you got this thing over here, which is basically a scout. It's very cheap to build and has excellent stealth abilities. So there's like a stealth fighter for the most part. Now, I'll note by the way that, like, if we look at these guys, you note that the fighter has a range of long. So these are actually very, very good, like, ships, basically. Even if, like, they're very, low-grade ships, they're very good ships regardless. Just to throw it out there. Now, because I, like, found these guys, I'm very interested in possibly getting a research agreement with them, because they're actually cooperative with me, so let's offer them trade as well. Not going to offer them any credit payment for this guy, so hopefully let's get that, and then we can go from there.
Affirmative.
You can go down there first, I guess.
There is an Omega Alliance scientific breakthrough.
Alright, we are ourselves the titanium distribution field over here, which is very, very nice. So, cool. We offered them the trade agreement, and we got the colony ship built. This colony ship here is going to go all the way down to Bea.
Affirmative.
And I probably want to get this industrial center out of the way right now, so let's try and do that right now. Or not. You know what? Let's actually build up those, mines, I think, right now. The thing is, I'm going to have, space to do stuff, so we're going to build up, the mines here first. Just so my guys have something to do when we get some, early, during mining is going on for ship production later on. But I do have money. So you know what? Let's do this first. Buy it. And then we're just going to go and build, a bunch of these, during mines. There, that's good. That'll help out basically for now. You're upgrading that. You're basically terraforming that.
We have news from the diplomat.
Alright, awesome. Now, note by the way that, the V get no apprehension for a treaty with the Firmadamus. It's worth knowing that, you're not very much a peace-going, species for the most part. You're actually more about, conquering people, so, you want to be very, 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 very subtle in, basically treating, other, my races like something, get agreements with, but whatever. We got ourselves a trading with these guys. If I go to them, our board is interested in intensive exchange of resources and our figures of view. A corresponding treaty is ready for you to sign. And it's a joy to trade our reserve view. Cheers to a productive partnership. So what is going to do for me right now, I'm going to be able to go over to these guys and we'll be able to trade with them. And this is where trade comes in. So if I do this, I'll have a nice little trade route with these guys and I'll be able to get some money from them as well. So that's what is going to help me out for, in the long run, which is nice. Let's have this guy go over here for now.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
You're going to go right here. And, alright. Now, note by the way, you basically have free labor units popping up at this point. So, free labor units are basically, as you can see, not being used for anything. And I basically want to build structures basically to, give my population something to do when those pop up for the most part. Which is why I'm building those mines first, is to do, something for them to do. Alright, so, and turn. And Alufria basically has, problems apparently. So, this, it's now got a hull of 1. This colony ship, so be very careful with this guy here. But
Designate a planet for terraforming.
we'll get him to try and terraform this right away and just colonize it, and then that'll be it for him, so it doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. By the way, if we go to my Omega Alpha assistant here, by the way, I'll go to trade. You can actually see how much credit you're going to get. So we're getting 39 crests now from training of the other guys over there. I'll note that it's worth knowing that you basically get more profits from more populated centers, and certain factors like the Heon and the coalition of planets will actually get more profits from their trade as well. So those are things to consider when you're basically taking into account trading and stuff. But whatever. So Tribula is basically empty. We'll go over here now and basically build these up. And yeah, it's fine for now. Let's get, like, you know, free pits for that.
Affirmative.
Let's have this guy go here. Now, over here with these guys, I'm actually going to use these guys to start terraforming this guy's plants.
Planet for terraforming.
And part of the reason for terraforming this guy's plants is that it'll actually give him, it'll actually let me, like, you know, boost up this guy's, like, reputation with me a little bit. So he'll actually be, like, you know, possibly a little bit better than, like, neutral than me, which would be very, very good for, like, you know, relations and, like, getting, like, diplomatic treaties with him.
There is an Omega Alliance scientific breakthrough.
Alright, so there's computers basically done again. I shouldn't even didn't mean to, like, you know, research this again, but whatever. Let's just go over here and, like, get this done. Basically, I'm not getting anything from level 3 for computers for a little bit, so if I get weapons up to level 1, I'll be able to get, actually, you can see a new fire type, and also be able to access to scientific fountain. So, I want to note, by the way, in this game, you want to basically, like, level up all your, like, you know, techs quite a bit, not just a single one, because you'll basically get, like, you know, certain, like, techs, like, you know, your soldiers, for example, basically rely on, like, all techs to basically, like, succeed. So I want to basically, like, level all my techs up to basically, like, you know, maximize how my stuff basically works in this game. And this is basically, like, you know, it's got, like, you know, like, the ability to you know, build, like, spaceships, this, like, sector. But again, it's basically, like, you know, very, very small system, so I probably don't want to build spaceships from this place. So, this system is what it is.
Affirmative.
Let's send that guy there.
Affirmative.
And there, I guess.
Terraforming has been completed.
Awesome. So, we basically terraform our first planet from this guy here. If I keep this up, he should like me a lot more, so
For terraforming.
we'll go here next. You guys basically can consider complete your refineries, so that's out of the way. I will have to build, like, more of these for the future, so let's get this out of the way now. No, by the way, it's actually taking me titanium, like, abilities now, so I have to be very, very careful of this because, you know, it costs less than titanium to actually build a lot of stuff. Actually, thinking about it right now, I should be going in here and, like, boosting this down at this point to, like, get more titanium on the, you know, on the construction here. So let's do that, I think.
Affirmative.
You'll go like that, I guess.
Terraforming has been completed.
Alright, so we basically terraform our first planet over here.
Designate a planet for terraforming.
Let's go for this one over here next.
Affirmative.
There is an Omega Alliance scientific breakthrough.
Alright, so there's a new, like, you know, type of, like, you know, fighter for me to use. The Rush class fighter is a slightly improved ship with regards to the Nor attack ship. Still, it is not very often deployed and seen in combat, but sometimes useful in defending outposts. I'll note by if you look at the range there, you can see it's got medium movement, so this guy can't, like, go outside, like, you know, very, very far as, like, my, like, scout can. So that's basically something I know about, like, my ships, by the way. Yeah, basically want to, like, bounce, like, you know, how far they can, like, go to, like, how worth it they are to build. This is not very, very, like, you know, good class of ship to build, so not gonna worry about it too much. But this, a scientific fountain is basically very, very good to basically, like, you know, increase my, like, science output, so that's definitely worth getting. That's basically why I got weapons, by the way. Not for, like, you know, the ship here, but for that.
An alien culture has been encountered.
Industrial and productive, apparently. So, Gyrodorans were often enough attacked, subjugated, and downtrodden, partially also being resettled on larger scales and abused as forced laborers in foreign production facilities and mines. This is primarily due to the fact that the Gyrodoran can develop the tractive power of almost 100 metric tons, which they owe to their mammoth-like frame. But a Gyrodoran is not as silly as he may look. As time drew on, they gained the trust of their camp commanders, and convinced them that they would do their work also on a voluntary basis, and that there is no need for expensive supervision measures. This did not work out everywhere, of course. Thus, many Gudadoran are even today in dark islets and mountain shafts in Succotage, but others have already successfully freed themselves from slavery and made themselves independent in their ore trading business and building sector. These Gudadoran, who meanwhile become actually really powerful, are surely ready to put in a good word for trade relations with their homeworld at the rulers. So basically, these guys are productive and industrial. They basically have a boost to industry, so you can basically get a lot of production from these guys. And here's the thing about these guys here: they actually have a ability to boost up their trade routes, so you can actually get a lot of trade from these guys. So one of these guys here can trade to a lot of other places elsewhere.
Scientists of the Omega Alliance
Terraforming has been completed.
And there's a lot of stuff going on right there. Nope, we got ourselves a special research this time, so I want to show you what this is all about. So, special research assignments are basically pop up at each of the levels, basically of your research. So, you can basically boost up how capable your faction is going to be in different areas. This one is basically going to boost up my troops apparently. So, great progress in the range of military vessels components have recently been achieved, but without well-trained troops and crew, these developments are useless. These technologies will allow our infantry to match these improvements on the battlefield. So I actually decrease my production costs for my troops, improve their basic training, so they get in veterancy a lot faster, and I can also get planetary combat capabilities, so they're gonna attack stuff a lot easier as well. And I think we're gonna go for this one here. And it's gonna maybe put 20% research in here for now. So that's a very very good thing to basically get for my guys here. Apparently I can also get myself intel center over here if I get this up a little too. So I'm gonna keep this in weapon tech for now over here. So you see what that's all about. Bay is basically done. So let's get this guy to terraform somewhere else.
Planet for terraforming.
Alright, so I know at this point, I basically have my ship basically explore wherever I can at this point. Until I basically expand outside of where I basically am right now, we can't actually have this guy basically look at anything else, so he's not really great, but whatever. Lots of these guys are not cooperative with me, so if I want to, I can actually offer them a trade relation perhaps, so let's do that right now. And we'll try doing the same with these guys, maybe with 1250 credits, if I can. No, basically, it's in my interest to basically try and get these trade agreements with these guys, because it'll let me basically improve their relations with me later on. This guy seems he's friendly, and as this guy's appreciation of me goes up with my trading with him, I'll be able to better stuff over here as well. So let's see here. So basically, I offer trade agreements to these guys here,
We have news from the diplomat.
and both of them declined at this point. But oh well. At some point, I might be able to get relations with these guys improved a little bit. But for now, I'll just have to hold off and worry about that for now, I guess.
Affirmative.
I'll get this guy down here for now, I think. These guys basically complete their construction, so let's get them to do something else, I guess. So, industrial centers would be good over here, I think, to get. So, let's do that. We'll go like this for now. That'll take some turns to build. And And that'll take 6 turns to build, but whatever. Actually, you know what? Let's go build this first. If I get my scientific fountains out of the way, I'll be able to basically, like, you know, research a lot faster, so I want to get that out of the way, so we'll do that. I do still have some free labor, by the way, here, but at this point, I want to save this, like, you know, 5 billion for other stuff, I think, so we'll build, like, you know, other stuff for this, you know, in a bit, but for now, let's hold off for it, I think. I want to build this at some point as well, by the way, to throw it out there. You know what, let's just build that right now, so once I get that, I'll be able to, like, you know, once I basically get this, like, you know, produced, I can actually, like, start, like, you know, repositioning some of my farmers elsewhere, I think. Maybe not just yet. That energy 45 is actually something to note, by the way, so you need to have, like, energy for certain things, so that was something that, like, to look into a little later, I think, perhaps. And let's produce like this for now, I think, and we'll go from there. Alright, so, we're at turn 50. This seems like a good stopping point, and my voice is basically, you know, as you can probably hear, just dying, so let's just call this it for just, like, you know, foray into, like, you know, Birth of the Empires. I don't know how long this, like, you know, playthrough will basically go, because I haven't really had a good start, and that's something I know about this game, by the way. If you have a very bad start, it's going to really harm your ability to, like, you know, get, like, a good, like, you know, game out of it, but oh well. We'll see how it goes. For now, let's just, like, you know, save it here. And there's, like, you know, the Omega Alliance. Oh, by the way, like, you know, as you see here, I basically, like, played, like, you know, these other factions here, and, you can actually, like, you can get pretty big if you, like, you know, you have, like, good starts, and this is sort of, like, jump into this one right here. We're just going to jump into, like, the Carter invaders. This is a very good start I have with the Carter invaders, that basically I was, like, you know, doing on my own. As you basically see here, like, these guys, the Heon, who I basically ran into, have very poor starts, so they only have, like, you know, 2 plants. But I'm basically over here, I basically got, like, you know, plants, you know, all over the place, basically, so you have very good starts. And in another game, here's a game I was basically playing with, like, the Heon, and they had, like, you know, not as good a start as, like, you know, the Qatar there, but it was good enough, basically, I was able to, like, you know, make some headway before, like, you know, ran into the Qatar over here, which basically, like, you know, are, like, sandwiched on the map over here. And there's also, like, you know, like, the Karens over here as well. Anyhow,